Today we're going to talk about the E in legacy. What are you talking about?
What are you doing? Why are you talking like that?
I was just talking. Samira, we're filming. So if you're in the middle...
Wait. Sky, man. I can't. What's going on?
Welcome back. I'm Huey Whittaker.
And I'm Barbara Whittaker.
Welcome back to Team Whittaker. We are talking today about the E in legacy.
Last week we started with L, which was learn, educate, mindset, kind of setting the foundation and the framework. This week we're going to be diving into the importance of earning money and why earning is so important in the rest of the framework of legacy. It kind of starts the process. I mean, you need to be able to do more than just pay your bills. So it allows you to give, to save, to accumulate, to grow, all of those things that are necessary in the process of building financial wealth. So we need to talk about it.
Earning builds on what we talked about last week, which is your mindset and the routine and the structure in which you start your kind of growth and your mindset on.
Yeah, and it's one thing I wanted to make sure I mention is legacy is really like a step process. So when we're talking about earning, it's okay if you have one job. We don't want to talk about, we're not even going to get into multiple streams of income right now. That is going to be important in the grand scheme of things, but we're really just talking about the job that you have, if you only have one right now, how you maximize it, how you leverage it, the importance of understanding where you are to continue your growth pattern. So this is the second step. When you get to the end of legacy, to repeat that process, you would be kind of growing from that point.
So jumping in, the first key point is to start where you are. So Barbara kind of just mentioned it. Like, don't think about all these grand thought processes that look great on social media or you see on TV. Just understand where you are and then also where you're trying to go. And then you just start where you are. So if it's that you have an employer that gives you a certain amount of salary, well, how can you maximize what you do there to either earn a raise or to see if there's any way that you can grow in the position that you're in order to position yourself for the raise when it is an opportunity for it.
The second key point is going to be discipline. What you're doing with what you're getting is going to be very important as well. So I'm sure you've heard the term of being a good steward. How you steward what you're currently getting in is very important in the process before you move on to the next step in legacy. So accounting for what you make, where it goes, accessing benefits that are at your particular workplace that you may have access to, maximizing. So you want to make a true assessment.
So we talked about being an employee in some instances, but let's talk about maybe being a business owner, entrepreneur, or self-employed, right? Where you're really the business itself. You also have to think about application. So it's not just earning, that's one piece of it when you're kind of, the whole thing relies on you, but then the application of what you learn is important too. So you also, it's not just about spending it. You have to earn, then you have to invest back into the business or back into yourself, because that's how you're going to expand, that's how you're going to grow, and then that's how you can get to another level, again, growing in the way that you feel that fits your model of what your initial vision was. So you can't just earn to spend, but you have to earn to either invest and maybe even bring in new, employees, or however your growth trajectory is going to allow for. Just make sure that you have the plan, but the application and the implementation of that plan is going to be extremely important too. If you fall somewhere in the middle where you're like an employeepreneur, you need to know where you can leverage your benefits at the workplace, maximize the opportunities and time that you have there, but then also don't squander what time you have trying to build yourself something on the outside of that employment. And then you also have to make sure that you're keeping up with your duties and responsibilities on both sides as well. And that's really the hard time, the hard part that people have with maybe trying to balance building something while they have full-time employment.
Thing you need to think about during your earn phase is the atmosphere. So we kind of talked about leveraging, maximizing, making sure you're getting as much out of your position as possible from all angles, whether it's, have you learned all the skills? Have you maximized your skills? Have you engaged in the possibility of moving up in the chain if possible? Have you looked into the benefits that are available to really maximize the benefits that particular employer may offer? The very next thing you should be doing is, are you maxing out where you are at? Is the atmosphere right for where you are? Have you grown enough from the L in legacy and learned and educated, learned a new skill, got a new degree, to where you have to assess if you are currently in the right position, or is it time to make a move? A lot of people will want to rush that point because they hadn't fully assessed where they currently are. So we encourage you to really do a full assessment of all of the areas that I just mentioned, and then determine, are you too large for the atmosphere that you're currently in? And that may trigger you making a move in order to earn more.
And just remember, the key to it all is you need to earn, you need to bring in in order to build what you're looking to build. I mean, you need to be able to apply funds and capital to different places that you feel your vision fits. I think people always talk about work-life balance. There's a couple different ways to think about that from my standpoint and Barbara's standpoint. One is we can have balance right now. We can maybe work less and, maybe do less and feel very comfortable in our approach. The other thing is we can work like mad people right now because our balance is going to come in 10 or 15 years when we don't have to work again. There's an approach to it. Go after that and make sure that fits. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that, you have a certain amount of time off every single day or every single weekend. I mean, you can go hard right now and enjoy the fruits of your labor later.
So here's what we suggest as some easy next steps. We previously did a video with regard to a spreadsheet that we use in our household, kind of laying out all of our income, all of our expenses, kind of like a profit and loss for our personal family stuff, right? We encourage you to go back, view that episode, and lay everything out. Identify where you are, what your current income is, and what your expenses are. If you feel like there is no upward path in your current position, then maybe that is a time to go back to L, educate yourself, figure out where you can expand on your knowledge base and your skills, and then create additional opportunities to expand your income potential.
So remember, this whole thing goes back and circles around the ultimate kind of strategy that we've been talking about, which is legacy. So yours needs to be very clear on your mind. You need to understand what it is, what the plan is, how you're going to get there. And then also there may need to be a certain amount of capital that you're trying to reach to expand or to grow, or maybe you need a certain amount of revenue in order to bring in new talent or surround yourself with people that you can delegate to. And now you have some wings that you can put underneath you and start to head in that direction.
So it's go time. We're slowly laying out the formula. We gave it to you already, but you have the key elements you need to really start moving forward in creating the legacy you've always envisioned for your family. You have the pieces to the puzzle. We're helping you uncover them and really dig down into them to help you identify maybe what you can do in your own personal situation. It really just begins with start. You got to start. You got to start.
And then finish.
And then finish, one day at a time. So here's what we encourage you to do. Drop a legacy in the comments. We will provide you with a free worksheet that will help you in your assessment process. And also remember to subscribe so that you are notified as soon as we release the next video in legacy, which is G. It's about giving.
And it's extremely important.
Extremely important. Probably the only step that really can start from the beginning. You can kind of move it out of order, kind of is relevant from all pieces, but the G that we placed here is specifically financial giving. So stay tuned. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next episode, start strong, grow bold, be fruitful.